So I wanted to be clear about this particular subject and this question and whether or not Bill Belichick age has anything of significance as far as fans are concerned. And I've come to the conclusion that they are indeed relevant questions. This is something for Falcons fans that we want to know is, do they have a plan? And I think when it comes down to a lot of fans, they look at a 70-year-old guy, and for most people, it's a major concern. Now, this is your boy Mad Mike Sports, the Unleashed part of this podcast. Like I said, man, the podcast is, you never know what you're gonna get from me. All right, you never know. Again, I could be sweet, I could be mean, I can be absolutely angry. But this one, I want to kind of really give insight on this particular question. All right, so this is Hawks Goated. I do question Bill when it comes to having him having power on draft night. I can't remember exactly, but the last Pro Bowl player the Patriots drafted was Dante Hightower. That was back in 2013, I believe. He is still the greatest coach ever. This is a pretty good question. But the idea that Bill Belichick hasn't had Pro Bowlers, it's just not true, okay? Obviously, we got Tom Brady. And, from 16, 17, 18, he's been that guy. But he's had a guy, Matthew Slater. His Pro Bowl years were 16, 17, 19, 20, and 21. You got Rob Gronkowski, who was 17 before he retired. Steven Gostkowski, he's a kicker for him. And these are guys that have just been recent. So the idea that Bill Belichick just doesn't have Pro Bowl players, it's not true. The thing is, when it comes down to it, man, I think a lot of players, if you looking at Tom Brady and players outside of Tom Brady, Gronkowski, it's mostly been defensive guys. And this guy has not only had Pro Bowl players, but the thing is a lot of these guys are quality players. His teams, his defenses have been quality. All right. And within the last 5 years, this is the thing when it comes down to, Bill Belichick. If you're looking at Bill Belichick to have players that stick out and players that, that put up, 1,700 yards rushing and things of that nature, and players that make, that are super highlights, guys like Bijan Robinson that stick out and make the, highlights and whatnot. The top 10 highlights of ESPN, those types of things. You're not going to find a lot of those guys. You're going to find a lot of guys that are very, they're exciting. They're players that stick out, like a Michael Vick, a Bijan Robinson, Julio Jones. He's not going to draft those types of guys. You're going to get solid players that play team ball, and this is what you're going to get with Bill Belichick. So I know a lot of fans, especially today, that's typically something that they don't want to focus on. They don't want to see. They don't want to see old school brand of football. But one thing that I always say about people, especially fans of the game, well, he fits this culture. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because you look at Bill Belichick and Tom Brady for the past, 10 years or so. They've been running this spread offense. If Tom Brady needs to, if the Patriots, they need to, throw the ball, they've thrown the ball. They've ran this spread offense. They ran the quick passing game. And this is essentially what the Spirit offense is today. It's the quick passing game. It's the quick passing game, and that's something that a lot of fans don't realize. It's, the Spirit offense, the West Coast offense. This is what, as far as the NFL is concerned, this is what it's going to. You mix that with a lot of mobile quarterbacks and the mobile quarterbacks and quarterbacks that are that can move, the Michael Vick types of guys, the Patrick Mahomes guys who can get you 5 to 10 yards, rushing at a time. You're mixing the Spirit offense with the mobility, and this is something that Bill Belichick has done. He has had a guy like Jacoby Brissett. He's not a Michael Vick. He's not a Cam Newton. He's not one of those guys that's going to run, like a Justin Fields. He's going to take a option read 70 yards downfield and outrun the defense. He's not going to do that. But he hasn't had players that can do that. He's had Cam Newton on his team, and he's pretty much ran every version of offense that you can possibly run. And this is where I say a lot of people are getting it confused with Bill Belichick and his unwillingness to adapt. You go back to the days of Randy Moss, when he had Randy Moss. He can create defenses that are explosive. He's offenses that are explosive. He's done that. He's created offenses that are incredibly conservative. He's created offense where they use a lot of screens, a lot of out routes, a lot of slant plays. He is incredibly adaptive. So I think that's the best thing about Bill Belichick. I think he's going to do a good job of mixing a lot of styles of offense and bringing it to his respective team. Whether that's Atlanta Falcons, I don't know. I'm leaning towards, and the evidence points as though that it will be Bill Belichick or Jim Harbaugh, regarding what happens with Jim Harbaugh and his contract negotiations with Michigan. We'll see. But Bill Belichick is a guy, he's had a lot of power as far as personnel is concerned, but he's had a lot of input, and his guys have a lot of input in regards to who is going to, help him with the talent. So I'm going to say this about the Atlanta Falcons. I don't think the Atlanta Falcons are going to allow Bill Belichick to just come in here and just change everything, get rid of everybody. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think there will be a major move where Bill either trades a corner. In this aspect, I think he's going to trade a guy you may see like AJ Terrell because of the money. But like I said, he may keep AJ Terrell because I think Bill Belichick, he really, if you look at his history, he loves to have good defensive players. And I think AJ Terrell is a good defensive player, but it's going to be a massive, I think it's really going to come down to whether or not AJ Terrell wants this big contract. And that's where the concern. But as far as Bill Belichick having complete control over draft, I don't think that's what the Falcons are going to give up. I don't think the Falcons are going to give up all draft power, and they sit around and just look at Bill Belichick make all the executive decisions in regards to the drafting. I don't think that'll happen. But I do know that Bill Belichick, they will allow Bill Belichick, like any other coach, to have their players. So this is my take on this Hawks Goated. And like I said, I really appreciate you guys for leaving comments like this. But I don't think it would be a major concern. I don't think Bill Belichick at this stage of his career that he wants to spend every week, every hour, not only coaching, but scouting, signing, the contracts and all these things. I don't think the Falcons will give up that power. So Terry Fontenot, Kyle Smith, all these guys will be integral and continue to be an integral part of this Atlanta Falcons. I think this will be a integral part and a strong part of player development and drafting and signing free agents and whatnot. So let me know what you guys think about this. This has been another episode of Unleash with your boy Mad Mike, and this is my take on Bill Belichick and whether or not he will have a massive role in drafting player. Let me know what you guys think about this. This has been your boy, man, Mike. I'm out here, man. Peace. Hit that subscribe button.